Let's go now, though, to Syria and the shocking photographic evidence which Human Rights Watch says indicates the levels of brutality inside the regime's jails and detention centres. The organisation has released an 86-page report that documents 28,000 deaths in custody. The photographs were taken by a military forensic photographer who later defected from the Syrian regime and smuggled the photos out on discs and thumb drives and later entrusted them to a Syrian opposition group. Anne Barker has our report.
Dahiya Musulmani spent years trying to free his nephew Ahmed from Syrian detention. He says in August 2012, when Ahmed's brother Shadi was killed in a protest, the 14-year-old had fled to Lebanon. The following year, when his mother died, he returned home. But when guards stopped Ahmed at the border, his uncle says they found a song critical of President Bashar al-Assad on his mobile phone. Ahmed was taken into custody. This is the room where they took Ahmed, says his uncle, on the east side of the checkpoint. They took him there, and after that he disappeared. Dahiya Musulmani was told after he'd raised a large ransom, Ahmed would be released. But in March this year, tens of thousands of photographs were suddenly posted online of thousands of detainees killed in Syrian jails. Ahmed al-Musulmani was among them. It was him, it was his nose, his face, his uncle says. It was Ahmed with a number. He breaks down as he recalls his nephew's photo. Ahmed was a soul and he became a number, he said. Human Rights Watch says the photographs were smuggled out of Syria by a military photographer who later defected. Codenamed Caesar, it was his job to photograph every detainee who died in custody. Earlier this year, the photos were handed to Human Rights Watch and posted online. The organisation says at least 28,000 people have died in Syrian detention since the civil war began, victims of torture, beatings or starvation. It was the first time many families could know what had happened to a loved one.
This was a person that was partially wrapped in a plastic sheet. You can look at his face, and his face will tell you that he's pretty young.
And the deaths were brutal. Human Rights Watch sent many of the photographs to forensic pathologists at the organisation Physicians for Human Rights. One, Dr. Nizam Pirwani, confirmed many had been killed in the most brutal fashion.
They clearly show that these people has been starved to death, many of them. They clearly show injury patterns that are not consistent with falls. They are consistent with torture.
Dr. Pirwani says there was no doubt in the photos he saw that the injuries were inflicted and not accidental.
Some of them show defensive wounds, which imply that the person was aware and cognizant that he or she was being attacked.
Former detainees and guards have confirmed the horrendous conditions for those in custody in Syria, with torture and malnutrition widespread. Sometimes they'd bring us 2.5 or just 2 potatoes to share among 12 detainees, says one man since released. Most days there were 3, 4, 5, 6 deaths and sometimes up to 11 a day, says a former guard in one detention centre. Human Rights Watch says satellite imaging and geolocation techniques, as well as the testimony of military defectors, have helped confirm many of the photographs were taken at a Syrian military hospital in the town of Metz. The organisation's deputy director for the Middle East, Nadim Houri, says it's not enough just to demand Syrian authorities release detainees, but to allow independent observers in to see conditions inside.
What is needed today is not just some releases. What is needed is finally a real push from the internationals for independent monitors to be finally granted access to detention facilities.
The Syrian government has previously and consistently rejected photographs or any evidence of torture inside its prisons. In an interview with Foreign Affairs magazine earlier this year, President Assad said, quote, "You can bring photographs from anyone and say this is torture. There's no verification of any of this evidence, so it's all allegations without evidence."
Anne Barker with that report.